Why we bought the house, I guess we've been looking for probably a few months. It wasn't until I came and saw it and saw how big the yard was that really figured we should move quickly on it. Unfortunately, Rhianne was in yoga training and couldn't even come see it, so I had to make an offer without you seeing it.
Which I was totally fine with, because for me, my number one was location. I really wanted a neighborhood that was a community, you know, not on top of each other, but you know, a safe place, a fun place to be with good people. And I love Rob's friends. I love Canton as well. I trusted you.
Wow, thank you.
Don't let me down.
So I want to say 11 to 2 open house, and I showed up around 12, and there's probably 15 cars up front. There's probably about 8 couples. I would say 3 of them were pregnant, 2 or 3 of them had children, and at least 3 of them had, you know, a parent, you know, looked like a dad that was going to be helping them. So that's why I was as aggressive as I was with the offer, because we went way above asking, because we felt like if we didn't, we wouldn't have a chance. There was probably 12 offers on day one, and you know, we went in above asking. They came back the next day and said they narrowed it down to 6, and then we had to come back with our best and final offer. So we did that with, you know, went up a little bit with no contingencies, etc. We wrote a nice letter to the homeowner, who I actually played football with her son and Pop Warner growing up, and you know, we between making the first offer and the second offer, we drove by the house and bumped into the homeowner in the driveway and kind of said, "We love your house," and you know, kind of reminded her.
Because I forced him to stop, and I'm like, "Tell her who you are, introduce yourself." So he was, I think, caught off guard by that. Kept driving. I made him turn around and come back, and thankfully she was still in the driveway. So he rolled down the window and didn't exactly introduce yourself, but said, you know, "We love your house. We, you know, would love to buy it." I think you said.
Yeah, we just said we were
with your son.
Yeah.
So then we drove home, because he was showing me the house since I didn't get to see it, and you know, we were super excited about this. So thinking and talking, you know, what can we do to get this house? And, you know, so I called my coworker, whose mother has been a real estate agent for many, many years, and she let us know that buyers are now writing letters, which seemed a little odd to us. I know, especially to you, you were
extremely
not as interested, but I'm like, we'll do whatever we have to do to get this house. So we wrote the letter. And in the letter, we said, you know, it was nice seeing you, you know, sorry if we caught you off guard, but lovely meeting you, and your house is beautiful, and we would love to, you know, be able to take that house and have a family and live there and continue to keep it as beautiful as it is. And it all worked out. Yep. So she liked the letter, which is good. With a Canton architect. He's done a lot of work in this neighborhood and in the town. Yeah, he was referred to me by a concrete guy that I grew up with. Yep. He put together some plans, and we made some revisions to it. It's been a much longer process than I originally thought. Yeah, I mean, it's a little frustrating, I think, because we had expected, you know, 2 plans within what budget we had kind of given him. And when he delivered the first of 2 plans, one was within budget, but the other was so astronomically high. And it was kind of his initial thought of what we should do with the house, which I kind of told him immediately that was really not feasible from a cost perspective. But he showed it to us anyway, so I was frustrated, and then we had to ask him to do what we considered the second plan. He's now calling the third. Yeah. But whatever. So he did it. You know, he wasn't super easy to work with, but he's starting to come around. I think he's warmed up. I'm on email. He's been good. And, yeah, we're fine, I think. You know, I'm learning a ton every day. That every wall I pull down, you learn stuff. It's just cool. Finding all sorts of, you know, mice and termites and carpenter ants and hairbrushes and
Old baseball cards.
Asbestos tiles, and yeah, you name it.
Oragel.
Yeah.
That's a nice story. Rob was knocking something down in a closet and water squirted on his face. So that was concerning already, like gross. And then all of a sudden his lip is numb and parts of his face are going numb. So thankfully it was just an old bottle of Oragel from the 70s or 80s.
Yeah. Stuff never expires apparently because I was completely numb for like 10 minutes. It was gross. Yeah.
Today is Saturday, January 11th, and we bought the house in September. It was the end of September.
End of September, yeah.
And the owner took, what, about 2 weeks to move out? Maybe even, yeah, 2 weeks. She was originally going to stay here in October and then wasn't anymore, so we were in. I think you started demo work in November, end of November, December. But I would say we started working with Gary in early December, maybe, no, end of November?
Yeah, end of November. We had the first set of plans kind of, you know, beginning of December. And then we asked him for the next set, which came end of December. And then a couple of updates. So here we are today. The guess is that he's working on the construction plans now, so that we'll be able to put this out to bid potentially as soon as January 17th. Ideally, we'd like to be done by, I'd say June 1st. If we could move in by June 1st, it'd be phenomenal. But, you know, my cousin David told me the other day we probably are looking at more like August. So it's a little, we don't want August, but we'll figure it out. There's anxiety of, you know, getting the bids, getting cooperation from these people. If I decide to run point, it's, you know, it's scary because if you have plans for an electrician to come and they don't come, your whole project gets pushed out. So August becomes a reality as these people may not show up. That's where a contractor who's got these relationships can help the timing parts. That's what we have to weigh. So I'm starting to feel a little anxiety over it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Trying to ignore the anxiety, but it's there.
We've been loving this process from day one. You know, even before we found this house, looking for houses and getting excited about the process. Since we've been in this house, we've been shopping, you know, for cabinets, just kind of window shopping, looking around, furniture. And that's been really fun. I've been happy to see that we're both on the same page when it comes to what we want the house to look like and the style and the vibe. It feels really great to have the plans from the architect that we like.
Yeah. We think we're right where we want to be.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah. I love this little house already.